This is Ruth Guggenheim with GPS for the Jewish Soul, and we're here once again with Rabbi Chaim Landau from Jews for Judaism East. Hi, welcome back.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here with you.
I love having you on. Thank you so much. You know, I can't stop thinking of this song I learned as a little girl. You know, it kind of goes like, don't walk in front of me, I may not follow. Don't walk behind me, I may not lead. Just walk beside me and be my friend, and together we will walk in the ways of Hashem, in the ways of God. And then it continued something like, V'ahavta l'recha kamocha ze klal gadol b'Torah, which I think loosely means, what? What does v'ahavta? It's to love your neighbor as yourself. What is that? Why is it so important in Judaism, that concept?
Well, actually, I believe that the statement that you were just quoting, and that Rabbi Akiva said is Ze klal gadol b'Torah, this is the great rule of the Torah, it means just simply as it says. If we step back for a moment, the real key to understanding this is, why did God create the world? God created the world as an act of love. And therefore, every single thing that we do should always be connecting back to that primal love which begat creation. And if we're acting in a loving manner to another being, to another creature, all of that is connecting to the most powerful force that underlies the very existence of the creation of the universe.
You know, most people think that the Torah is the Bible. The Torah is just full of a lot of do's and don'ts, and that it doesn't emphasize love, and that it's a Bible, that the Torah is a Bible more of punishment. It sounds like you're trying to say something a little bit different, that God really loved us. Could you share on that?
Yes, you know, I have heard that from people, and that's a very common misconception that comes from, I would say, a rather superficial reading of what the Torah is saying. But if you look at the Torah from the other perspective, from the understanding that love, you know, what did the Beatles say? Love is all you need. As long as you start there and understand that that is the fundamental, and then you read through the Bible with that understanding, with that consciousness of love, you will see it as a tremendously loving book.
Isn't there something about on Yom Kippur when we think as Jews that Yom Kippur is about asking forgiveness, that God should forgive us. We're asking God to forgive us for all the sins we did or whatever we did wrong in the past year. However, isn't there a concept that God will not or cannot forgive the sins between man and man, between Adam l'chavero, between man and his friend? Is there something like that?
Oh, most definitely, because if you've wronged somebody else, then as part of an act of love, it's your job to right that wrong before coming to God and then asking for forgiveness from Him. That's something that you owe the person to whom you've done something wrong to. When you've done something wrong, let's say some transgression which is between man and God, God, because of His love, is willing to forgive and forget, so to speak.
There's a concept in Judaism I've heard that, you know, the Second Temple was destroyed because of hatred between man and man. Sinas chinam. What can you tell me about that?
Well, exactly what you say. There were Jews of many different stripes during the time of the Second Temple. There were the Pharisees, who would be roughly the equivalent of the Orthodox Jews of today. You had the Sadducees, who were Jews that had basically rejected halachic Judaism as it was known in those days. You had warmongering parties, and there was tremendous strife between them. And rather than finding common ground to unite as Jews, they chose to find areas of divisiveness and to focus on those. And that's what ultimately brought about the destruction of the temple. And what the Talmud is telling us is that even if we have differences amongst ourselves as Jews, it's our job to find that common ground and common love that unites us all.
It's a very powerful thing to leave us with today, Chaim, because perhaps one of the reasons the third temple hasn't yet been built is because we really haven't yet unified and found that common ground. Hopefully, God willing, in the very near future, we will find common denominator and love each other as we should, as the way the Torah tells us. Thank you once again for joining us at GPS for the Jewish Soul.